So for today, again, I got the brother Shawn, and you know, we did the introduction last time, and we're gonna get straight into the video. This video, Shawn, it's a recitation. It's so soothing. It's whatever. It's nice. It got nice visuals, bro. Are you ready?
I hope I'm ready. I know I'm ready. Now let's get to this video.
You know, I have a friend named Moment. If you said that, he would be like, ooh. He makes that sound a lot, so you know. Shout out to Moment. Okay, let's get into the video.
والقلم وما يسطرون ما أنت بنعمة ربك بمجنون وإن لك لأجرا غير ممنون وإنك لعلى خلق عظيم فستبصر ويبصرون بأيكم المفتون إن ربك هو أعلم بمن ضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم بالمهتدين فلا تطع المكذبين ودوا لو تدهن فيدهنون ولا تطع كل حلاف مهين هماز مشاء بنميم مناع للخير معتد أثيم عتل بعد ذلك زنيم أن كان ذا مال وبنين إذا تتلى عليه آياتنا قال أساطير الأولين سنسمه على الخرطوم إنا بلوناهم كما بلونا أصحاب الجنة إذ أقسموا ليصرمنها مصبحين ولا يستثنون فطاف عليها طائف من ربك وهم نائمون فأصبحت كالصريم فتنادوا مصبحين أن اغدوا على حرثكم إن كنتم صارمين فانطلقوا وهم يتخافتون ألا يدخلنها اليوم عليكم مسكين وغدوا على حوض قادرين فلما رأوها قالوا إنا لضالون بل نحن محرومون قال أوسطهم ألم أقل لكم لولا تسبحون قالوا سبحان ربنا إنا كنا ظالمين فأقبل بعضهم على بعض يتلاومون قالوا يا ويلنا إنا كنا طاغين عسى ربنا أن يبدلنا خيرا منها إنا إلى ربنا راغبون كذلك العذاب ولعذاب الآخرة أكبر لو كانوا يعلمون إن للمتقين عند ربهم جنات أفنجعل المسلمين كالمجرمين ما لكم كيف تحكمون ما لكم كيف تحكمون أم لكم كتاب فيه تدرسون إن لكم فيه لما تخيرون أم لكم أيمان علينا بالغة إلى يوم القيامة إن لكم لما تحكمون سلهم أيهم بذلك زعيم أم لهم شركاء فليأتوا بشركائهم إن كانوا صادقين يوم يكشف عن ساق ويدعون إلى السجود فلا يستطيعون خاشعة أبصارهم ترهقهم ذلة وقد كانوا يدعون إلى السجود وهم سالمون فذرني ومن يكذب بهذا الحديث سنستدرجهم من حيث لا يعلمون وأملي لهم إن كيدي متين إن كيدي متين إن كيدي متين أم تسألهم أجرا فهم من مغرم مثقلون أم عندهم الغيب فهم يكتبون فاصبر لحكم ربك ولا تكن كصاحب الحوت إذ نادى وهو مكظوم لولا أن تداركه نعمة من ربه لنبذ بالعراء وهو مذموم لولا أن تداركه نعمة من ربه لنبذ بالعراء وهو مذموم فاجتباه ربه فجعله من الصالحين وإن يكاد الذين كفروا ليزلقونك بأبصارهم لما سمعوا الذكر ويقولون إنه لمجنون وإن يكاد الذين كفروا ليزلقونك بأبصارهم لما سمعوا الذكر ويقولون إنه لمجنون ويقولون إنه لمجنون ويقولون إنه لمجنون وما هو إلا ذكر للعالمين.
It's a soothing video. Then you have like the start, like the part of the start where it's like, I believe in everything written by the pen, everything that has been said. like talking about like everything that's been written down, and I guess depending on like what, like where you're from, like what religion you're from, I'll be like everything written in the Bible. So, but at the same time, like you get through the whole thing, you hear about the part when they're going to like, they're on their like journey to go to the garden, they get there, and then they look at like the garden's bare, nothing's there, and it's like, and there's the believers who are just like, don't worry, this is just a message of God, we're gonna go, we're gonna get to the garden, the other garden is gonna have like a lot of like fruit, is gonna be bountiful, and then
the story goes like, there are people like, you know, they had a garden, and you know, it used to bear a lot of good fruits. God is just telling a story of these are random people, but God is telling their story to the prophet. He's saying that they were these random people. They made an oath that we have all this fruit. We're gonna come the next morning. We're gonna rip it. We're gonna take it all out. And any poor dude around, we're not gonna give him anything. We're just gonna keep it all for ourselves, because these guys are gonna take things away from us, right? Obviously. So God see their intention, that they were greedy. So what he did, the night they slept, you know, the field, God eradicated everything away from the field, so he made it barren. So when they came in the morning, they couldn't recognize it. Is this the field? Is this our field? But what happened in reality, that God showed them a lesson, that look, this is what happens when you're greedy, right? So, you know, and then they realized that one of the smart ones out of them, he said, no, man, this is definitely, God has showed us a lesson. We are wrong people, you know, we're wrongdoers, right? And then they asked for God to forgive them. And you know, but God, one thing that really struck out, God said, you know, such is the punishment of this life, but the punishment of the hereafter is greater. Only if you knew. Like you said too. I remember you repeated that verse. And what was going through your mind when you were reading that? Because I remember you said that again.
I'm trying to like, me and thinking like he's trying to show us like, even with that part, it's like it's like even like one of the parts in the movie that God is like, everyone thinking that God is mad, but it's like he's not mad. He's forgiving, but he's just trying to show you like what you're doing right now is wrong.
Yeah.
So like what you need to do is look at what you've like done, reflect on what you've like become and then change.
Yeah. And how what's your take on the part of this chapter when God was questioning you? He's like, do you have a scripture that tells you you'll be given whatever you want? And then there was another question. Are the ones that believe similar to the ones that don't believe? What is the matter with you? How do you judge? So God is like questioning basically the reader, like questioning us. How do you judge? What's your criterion? He's saying, are the people that do good and bad similar? Are the same? And then he's also questioning, do you have a scripture that tells you that you'll be given anything you want? You know, obviously in paradise, right? What was your thought process when you were reading those questions? Because you know sometimes these questions they hit you, and then you're like, because with me when I read them, I just start thinking, man, you know, like I think it was every human, right? When you're questioned, you know, you just we're like that, right? Like so what was going through your mind?
Like everyone has like their own like ideology between like what's wrong, what's right, what should be done, how it should be done, and like when it should be done. You start to think like, why should I judge, or why am I judging someone for doing this when I do choose to do it differently, or I think it's better this way, but then that person may find it easier to do it this way. Mm-hmm. It's like, why do you judge someone for this, but at the same time, like people judge people for like some of like the most like nonsense
things? Because I feel like honestly, there's certain things that are right, and humans are that, you know, obviously 50 years come, things change, right? But God has sent down in the Torah, right, in the Bible, in the Gospels, right, he has sent down the Quran, he sent down these messages, right, to tell mankind that this is good for you and this is bad for you. Stay away from this, and this is good for you. And as long as mankind, adheres to that, we adhere and we actually follow that, it's going to be for our own good, right? For example, in the Quran there's a commandment, right, that God tells you not to lie. Why? Because this is bad for you. He tells you not to cheat in your business. When you're doing something, give in full amount. Like when you're paying people, when you're paying things, when you're like helping people out, make sure you do it in the full amount. Don't cheat in things, right? Fear God. So when God is telling you to fear God, anything in life you can run away from, right? If you fear something, if I fear you, I'm gonna get away from you. But when God telling you to fear Him, God is telling you to be mindful, to acknowledge. Yeah. That I'm all seeing, I'm all knowing. I know what's going on, and the day of judgment is coming. So I'll question you for the things you've done. So if mankind listens to that, then it's the best for them. Because the thing is, bro, like you touched on a good point, but I just want to add on something what you said. Yes, everybody has their own ideology and their culture. I do admit, but one thing is, that if you talk to a killer, he will say killing is good, right? Because he, you know, that's what he does, right? So unless there is no criterion, that there's no set, like, you know, if you go to a court, there's a law book, right? We adhere to that, we follow that. So as long as there's no moral guideline, then people are just gonna come up with what they think, what they believe. Like, I'll give you another example. Like, homosexuality is something and a lot of people I remember, even my, like, you know, we strongly disagree with it, because I feel like Adam and Steve, it's not Adam and Steve, it's Adam and Eve, right? And honestly, there's other reasons why I also think it's prohibited, but the main reason is because it's not natural, right? It's not natural, right? And this is something what God said, right? It's not something I'm saying. You know, the story of Lot, we all know what happened, right? So we all believe in that. We all say that Lot was truthful, right? So then again, people want to do things their way, and okay, fine, do it your way, but then things sometimes they don't have a proper structure.